Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, Today's reading is going to be for the month of October. It's going to be choose your card reading. I've got 3 readings. It's a 6 card reading. I think I pretty much do the same reading for every month. And then I've also got an oracle card to kind of tie into the reading. I've used the oracle card from Seasons of the Witch, which is really like which is a really lovely deck. And I have coming up pretty soon a flip through if anybody's interested to see the rest of the cards in the deck. They're really neat and they have some really cool meanings, but it's all really geared toward this time of year, which is one of my favorites. As you can see, I've kind of changed my setup a little bit here. Got my little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern little guy, my leaf lantern. Yeah, ready for autumn. So go ahead and pause your video and pick your reading, and I'm going to get started. We have reading number 1, reading number 2, and reading number 3. Okay, so I'll be back with reading number 1. Okay, reading number 1. This is the card you picked. It's All Hallows Eve. And I'm going to read it. I usually read the oracles at the end of the reading to see how either they tie in with the reading or just maybe will give some extra advice. The tarot cards are coming from the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot, appropriately for this time of year. Okay, so I've already shuffled and cleared. I'm just going to go ahead and go shuffle again. And this is, as I said, a 6-card reading for the month of October. And then these get laid out this way. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So card number 1 is going to represent your energy for the month. Let's make sure that that's in the frame. It always takes me a minute to adjust. Okay, so card number 1 is representing your energy for the month ahead. And here we have the Knight of Wands. So this seems to be a pretty positive card for what will be representative of your energy this month. And it is in the upright position. This will speak about energetic, charming. It can speak to somebody who's a bit of a free spirit. So it can also speak to a journey or a travel. So perhaps you maybe have some travel coming up this month. Or maybe there's just going to be a lot more movement going on with your month than previous months, but there is going to be some new energy coming in, which will be more geared into the, I would say, the positive aspects, more fun. I feel like maybe more socially interesting. Perhaps there may be some I'm still kind of getting like also maybe a work vibe in here too. So maybe there will be some more. I don't feel like anything heavy with this. It feels like a really nice, like light kind of card for energy of this month. I feel like there's going to be a nice pace to the month coming up energetically for you. And I feel like this is saying to also be open to what may be coming up. This card, I believe, is going to speak to your your social life this month. I think that's number 2. So we'll see if this and this kind of match up. But as far as energy, good positive energy, lots of movement going on this month. Perhaps a travel or a vacation, or maybe just general movement going further than normal, maybe a little bit further away from home than usual. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and let's turn over card number 2. That will speak to your social life this month. Let's see if this kind of matches up. Okay, well, here we have the 5 of Swords in the reversal. Okay, so this is quite an interesting contrast to the first card, because I really thought that this card may somehow be tied into this card, because this to me was saying new social things going on. But this card is talking about, as far as socially, in its reversed position, we'll talk to a reconciliation and a resolution. So I don't know if there's maybe somebody that you're not getting along with, or there's maybe some sort of issue that you've been having with somebody, and this card's saying that there's going to be a resolution coming up this month with that person, or perhaps people. It can be even group situation or whatever, but this in the reversal. And maybe it does have something to do with this movement. Maybe there is going to be perhaps like a chance meeting that you run into this person that's, maybe you haven't gotten along with in the past. But this card is about reconciling and compromising. And it can also talk to cutting your losses. So perhaps in that resolution, maybe there's like a giving up of an old friendship, or of a person that somehow has been hanging on in the peripherals of your life. Maybe it's time now to kind of cut that and move forward. So perhaps there's going to be some of that happening, perhaps resolution in the way where you just decide, yeah, great, we'll continue on, socially, cordially, or you're just cutting it off. So I guess you'll have to see how that plays out. All right, so card number 3 will speak to something I should pursue this month. And this is card number 3, something I should pursue this month. And here we have, and this is an interesting pull for what you should be pursuing this month. Because this card is really talking about planning, taking risks, leaving your comfort zone. So that kind of plays into this card for me. It's also, they're both wands. So I feel like this is saying now the thing to pursue this month is kind of getting out of your comfort zone, moving further away from where you are comfortable, and doing something that you might not do in a normal time, perhaps socially, perhaps something on your own. But out of your norms of your comfort zone, and that's something. This is the month to kind of pursue that. So if there's kind of been something on your mind that maybe you were interested in trying, or maybe something will just crop up. That happens sometimes too. Something you were not expecting, and you're like, oh, I don't know, it's not really in my comfort zone, and you just you should go ahead and try it out and see. Because something positive will probably come from it. So pursuing new ventures, taking decisions, making a plan, and taking risks this month. So all right, that sounds fun. So far this month seems to be shaping up in a fun way, and except for maybe this might be a little bit uncomfortable. This might also be talking about getting out of your comfort zone and making a decision, perhaps where this person is concerned, this other person that you may be quarreling with, or just there's been some bad blood somewhere. So maybe maybe this is what that's also referring to. But this does feel like more fun and more interesting energy coming from this card. So all right, so hopefully you can take something from that. And let's move on to card number 4. Okay, so card number 4 we're going to be looking at here is going to talk about things you need to be cautious of this month. And this is the 9 of Wands in the reversed. We've got another Wands card. This is the 3rd Wands card. We can talk about that in a minute, that we've had come up in this reading. This is the 9 of Wands. And in order for in things to be cautious of, This is talking about being stubborn. There's a rigidity here with this card. So really be cautious of being stuck in your ways, which kind of plays into this card and this card, I feel like, because this is saying get out of your comfort zone, take a risk, don't be rigid, don't be stubborn. We want more free-flowing energy here, and really be cautious of your allowing that to happen. And it also talks about this also talks about refusing to compromise. So this kind of plays into this card, which you know, so that there would be some sort of compromise and resolution somewhere socially for you. And this is saying be cautious of refusing that compromise. So really, if there's a compromise in a positive way, you know, yeah, really think about what it is that you want. And this is saying just be careful if you're saying no, I want to, you know, you're cut off, that's it. You know, be really weary of these kinds of feelings. Like really take a second, step back, and say, is this really the right way to go? Do I really want to cut this person off? And before, and it's saying also be cautious of giving up. So if you know, if maybe this, you feel like this is just done, think twice about that before really going through with it. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. To me, this that makes sense perfectly with this card, though. So really be careful with whatever's happening with this person here. That person may be more important than you think moving forward. I'm not saying, you know, it doesn't, you know, mean pull them back into your life if they've just been on the peripherals. You know, they can stay there, but, you know, you don't need to cut them off completely. So, okay, give that a thought. And we will be moving into card number 5, which we'll talk about how can I practice self-care this month? How can you take care of yourself this month? And this is the 4 of Cups, and this is also reversed, if you can see. So this card is saying how you can practice self-care is really choosing happiness over negativity. Sometimes it's not a choice, and you know, easier said than done, but this card is really saying to for yourself to really focus on taking the positive road, really thinking in the positive, and not, you know, looking to everything which is not going well. You need to accept what can't be changed, and you know, be aware of, you know, where the positive and negatives lie, and choose accordingly. Bring the positivity by putting out positivity. Really, this needs to be a focus this month for you. So I don't know if maybe there's a heavier situation happening, but the focus needs to be on being clear in your thoughts, clear in your choices, moving forward in a positive direction. And I really feel like this card is saying, get out there, have a good time. This is a great month for that to be happening for whatever reason, whatever energy is surrounding you right now. This is a great month to bring in that positive energy, but make sure you're focusing on that, and not you know, sitting, you know, somewhere and, you know, kind of wallowing in what isn't going well. You need to focus on the things that are going well. We all have positive and negatives in our lives, and the point is to focus on, you know, what you can change for the positive, what you can't change, okay, whatever that may be. But there is a choice to be made as far as where your focus lies, and that's what this card is saying. Choose positivity as much as you possibly can, and then the rest will really flow in a good pattern. And it does kind of make me think of this card, which was saying, you know, don't be stubborn, don't get stuck somewhere in a rigid kind of mindset. break out of that, focus on the positive. So it's kind of interesting. Excuse me, kind of interesting. So I'll leave that one there, and we will move on to card number 6, which is, how can I be in alignment with my highest self this month? Ah, I love that. You have the Fool for this one. And this is another card which the energy is like, and it's in the upright position. So really it's bringing in a positive light here. Being carefree. I really feel like an underlying energy and message here of really needing to kind of let go of any kind of like thing, a negative thing that you're holding on to, again, with the compromise and the cutting off of things, thinking about things that are good for us, and kind of letting go. This is all about letting things go. It can kind of go over into a negative space as far as like not paying attention, but I feel like where it's kind of sitting in this reading, it's saying you don't need to calculate and control every little thing. If you allow things to happen, new things and new opportunities will be presented for you. This card is all about like spontaneity, freedom, originality, adventure. So yeah, I kind of feel like this really ties this whole thing together as far as kind of living at your or like how you can be in alignment with your highest self. That's where your spirit wants you to go. Let go of whatever is kind of holding you down, holding you back, kind of maybe keeping you in a headspace that's not 100% positive. There's really an energy here of just letting that go and allowing the universe to kind of take over certain aspects, and being open to that. So I'm going to leave that with you. Hopefully that makes sense for you. I'm going to go ahead and grab this oracle card. This one is All Hallows Eve. As I said, this is the very first card in the deck. And this says, call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiven howl as you stomp your might through the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and just look in the book and see what the deeper meaning of this card is and how it's can be an advice for you. So this card talks about kind of reaching within yourself and listening to your higher self and to what it's saying. The keywords for this card is for this card are emotion and summoning. So, and I kind of think it's kind of coming back to this card here, saying that you need to allow things to happen. And they're saying that this, All Hallows Eve is a magical time, and really like the time to kind of get in touch with the energy around you, and it talks about communication with your spirit guides and things like that. I don't know if you're into doing that kind of thing, but this card is saying that this is the perfect time to sort of get in touch with that. And again, here's what what the higher self is saying at this moment for this month. So this is saying, yeah, this is the right time to do that, because this month is so magical. And I really like that kind of extra little magic kind of message. It's not your typical oracle card. They're really, really geared towards people who kind of practice magical rituals and things like that. But I still think that the value is there as far as to add this into a tarot reading, because they're really just neat little messages in here. So again, listen to your higher self. Do maybe some more meditation to kind of get in touch with that, maybe in touch with what's going on around you as well. There may be messages from other places that are trying to get through. So I feel like that's what this card is saying as well. So, okay, I'm going to leave it there for your reading. That was reading number 1. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully it's resonated with you. Hopefully this makes sense for you. I really appreciate your letting me know in the comment section. I appreciate all your thumbs up and your subscribing where you see where you may want to. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the interaction. Yeah, let me know how this has resonated with you, or if it has. And I thank you in advance for that. So I'm going to move on to number 2, and I will see you in the next reading. Thanks for visiting. Bye. Okay, here we go for reading number 2. If this is the card you chose for reading number 2, this is the Wolf card. And we will read into that a little bit later. First, I'm going just to shuffle these around a little bit. I did shuffle already and clear as per usual before pulling up 6 cards for the reading. I just like to kind of not bore you with all the shuffling because it is kind of boring to watch. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these out. This is for your month ahead for October, and I am using, where's the box? And I am using the cards from the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot, which is very fitting for this time of year. And wow, it looks like we've got 2 reversals and the rest are upright. It's pretty good. All right. Well, reversals don't always mean, negative things. I can also take a negative card and turn it around. So, all right. So, wolf cards over here. And make sure these are all in the frame. And we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And number 1 card is going to talk about your overall energy for this month. And the 7 of Wands in the reversed is the first card. Okay, so the 7 of Wands is not particularly reversed, and the upright it's quite okay. And the reversal, it's a little bit, this will speak to maybe you're feeling a little bit judged, criticized, you feel like you're feeling overwhelmed as far as, maybe there's you're under scrutiny for something, or you're just feeling that way. So yeah, we'll have to kind of go through the rest of this reading to see how this kind of pans out and how we can kind of fix this and what to be cautious of here. Yeah, there's this talking about like questioning yourself, and maybe you don't need to be, or maybe you do need to be. I don't know. I guess that's for you to answer. It does talk about a feeling of being vulnerable, feeling vulnerable. This can also talk about avoiding conflict and backing down from that. And yeah, so let's kind of see how the rest of the cards play out. I may pull up another card with this because I would like a little bit more clarity as far as like your general feeling for the month. Perhaps this could be something that is carried over from last month. And perhaps it's not something which is, maybe it's like a feeling within yourself, not 100% coming from the exterior. But yeah, we'll talk about what to be cautious of and what to embrace this month. So let's see how that, I certainly hope this is not how you're feeling, because this is not a fun way to feel, but there are ways to kind of combat this and get out of this feeling if that is in fact kind of what's going on with you. All right, so we're going to move on to your social life this month and see what that says. And here we go with another reversal. These were the only 2 reversals in the reading, I can tell, because all the other pumpkins are upright. And so your social life is the Knight of Cups reversed. So we'll see how this kind of plays in. Yeah, this is quite interesting because this card does also talk about tension and avoidance and not wanting to confront what's going on. So I don't know if maybe there's potentially like perhaps a friend breakup or actually love breakup or something that's happening here that's being avoided. And because it talks about kind of being disappointed about things and avoiding conflict. And this one was also talking about not defending yourself. So perhaps there is something that's was going on, maybe carrying over from September or maybe even earlier than that, that is still not being resolved. Yeah, this is all about not resolving anything and kind of really shying away and being upset about it as well. So I feel like there's some sort of situation for you, whichever this may be. This position is talking about social life. So if there's something going on socially for you, be it a friendship or an argument with a friend or with a partner or and that aspect, I really feel like there's a strong need for you to kind of face what's happening at this moment. And we'll see what these cards say here. But this is saying that you're avoiding this, and this is going to continue on unless something is done about it. So, and this will lead to some disappointment if there isn't anything which is moving you out of this space for the moment. So this doesn't feel like something, or I should say, it feels like something that's like a temporary situation. It doesn't feel like something really like stuck here. I feel like it's something that can be moved through. So this card is going to talk about what to embrace this month. So maybe this will give some suggestion on how to kind of move forward from that. Here we go. 3 of Cups. Great. This is a really great card as far as like being harmonious and happy. So I feel like there is definitely some way to move through whatever is happening here. These 3 ladies on the cards, I always say that, on the card are happy, they are working together. There's connection between the 3 of them. It's all good things. So I really feel like whatever this headspace is here, the lack of wanting to kind of confront what's happening, what to embrace is your 3 of Cups. So as far as kind of emotions and things to embrace with this card, this is talking about like celebrations, group events, social events. So really embrace these kinds of things that may be going on to sort of help move you through whatever that's happening here. There is support for you. This card is there are social events, group events, and gatherings of friendship, and really to embrace that this month. Don't get stuck here in this negative headspace. Remember that you've got support, people who care about you, and so really, if this is like a fight with somebody or this is a breakups kind of situation, lean on your friends, maybe, or your close family or whatever, and get out there and do some new things. This is really, if you can see the 3 women, about friends and friendship. So embrace that this month for sure. And that will definitely lead to some better feelings for you. Okay, and this is what to be cautious of this month. And this is Judgment. This is quite interesting because this plays into, I believe it was this card about feeling judged. It was this card. This was the card about feeling scrutinized and judged and overwhelmed with other people's feelings, negative feelings about you. And this card in the upright is saying, embrace yourself and accept yourself. And as far as being cautious of that, don't allow other people's feelings to get in the way of how you feel about yourself. What you feel about you is the most important, not what somebody else is sort of maybe putting in your head or saying, oh, this person thinks that about you and this or that. That doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel about yourself. So really be cautious of allowing other people's feelings and thoughts, or what you think they may be thinking, or how you think they may be feeling about you, to get in your way. Accept yourself for how you are. This could also be another card to embrace as well as be cautious of. Since we're talking about being cautious, I feel like be cautious of your feelings towards other people's judgments of you. It doesn't matter. Do what you think is right, and be confident in that choice. And this will definitely help all of this. Yeah, and don't hide. Don't hide away. You need to be confident in it with yourself. This card also talks about self-evaluation, and reflection and purpose. So, as far as things to be cautious of, make sure that the information that's coming into you is coming from you and not from anybody else. Don't allow the doubt to kind of creep in, which is really speaking about kind of what this card was saying, that you are very overwhelmed by how people are thinking or feeling, or really bothered by what you perceive other people to be. And I don't know if maybe there may be outside influence, or maybe it's just your perception of what's happening. But people like you, you've got friends, you've got support system. Just remember to be confident in that and be cautious of allowing other people to sort of dictate how you should feel about yourself, because you don't need to do that. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. And then this card number, this is number 5. Self-care for this month. How can you take care of you this month? 4 of Pentacles. So this card talks sort of about knowing what is yours and sort of keeping it for yourself. It can talk to being selfish. So this kind of ties in for me, because if you're really thinking and focusing on yourself and what you bring to a situation, you don't need to share that with anybody else. You can keep that for you. You keep your feelings for you. This card also talks about stability, and savings and security. So I feel like kind of taking all of those things into consideration as far as taking care of yourself this month. Remember what it is that you have going on positively in your life, and to really hang on to it as far as something that you need to embrace. As far as also this is talking about self-care. But I really feel like there's sort of just this underlying thing of what to kind of embrace here. But yeah, it's funny because this card is talking about being like possessive and kind of hoarding things. But I feel like if you're working into like a self-care kind of space, which is what this card or this position is talking about, I feel like you have a lot of things to kind of be thankful for, but you don't always realize it. So I feel like to kind of take care of you is to kind of go back to that, remember what it is that you've got going on. That's good. Again, here, support system and things of that nature, and kind of really, don't worry about sharing that at this moment. Don't worry about being selfish about certain things. You don't need to always give away, because I feel like this is saying that you need to take this time and really, really be selfish with not just, it does kind of refer to money with the pentacles and things like that, but I don't feel like this is what it's talking about. Not just money, but really like any kind of like feelings that you have about yourself, things that you've got going on that are good for you. Embrace it, hang on to it, remember it, it's there. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I feel like I've kind of overtalked this card a little bit, but you get it. Hopefully this resonates with you and that makes some sense for you. Sometimes I tend to ramble and I say things sometimes and things just come out, which I just let it stand because, you know, maybe it's just a message that needs to be heard by somebody. So yeah, I'm just going to let that stand with the rambling that I've made, and we'll move on to the last card. Okay, so back for card number 6. And this is, oh, we have another reversal. I thought we didn't have anymore. I didn't notice this one. Okay, so card number 6 is how you can get in touch with your higher self this month. What can you do to get in touch with your higher self? All right, so let's have a look and see what it is. Oh, okay. Here we have the Ten of Swords reversed. And generally, when this card is upright, it's really talks a lot about betrayal and, you know, being stabbed in the back. And as you can see, that's a pretty fair representation on the card. And then when it's reversed, it talks sort of like you can see it as like the swords coming out. So instead of, you know, being impaled with something negative, the negative is washing away. And I feel like that's sort of like, or maybe not washing away, but sort of falling away. So I feel like it's sort of saying like, instead of focusing on the negative, it's time to kind of get rid of that and start focusing on the positive. Like this card was talking about focusing on yourself, not spreading yourself too thin, really worrying about how your feelings affect you and not how others are affecting you. And then here we have the Ten of Swords. Freedom, release, taking control. So I really think that instead of like taking a passive role, it's really saying take an active role and reconnecting with that part of yourself. Because I feel like the connection has been lost. I do feel like maybe perhaps you felt your intuition had betray you, or you were not maybe acting on an instinct and it wasn't clear, or maybe something happened where you felt like you didn't trust yourself anymore. And now I feel like it's saying to let those go, whatever that was that had happened before with your intuition or your higher self. It's time to let that go and to start anew. Take control of the situation, start trying to reconnect with that part of yourself. So, yeah. So hopefully you can take something from that and that makes sense to you. Next thing we're going to do is look at the oracle card that I pulled up for you. All right, so let's get into that. Oracle card, this is the Wolf card, and we will see what little advice it has for you. It says, devour the ferocious, calling within the howling of your spirit. Run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. So to me, that already kind of ties into what we were saying. Really kind of focus on yourself and, you know, get your power and, you know, speak freely and don't avoid. And yeah, but I'm going to have a look in the book and see what it says for a little bit of a deeper meaning. So interesting enough, this is the Wolf card, and this is the last card in the deck. And the other card that I read, which was for the other reading, was the first card in the deck. So that's kind of interesting that it came up like that. But this is, I guess, correct in tying this all together, I feel like, because this is saying really get in touch with your intuition, get in touch with your instincts. This will help you get to where you need to be. This will you will discover your inner happiness. You will discover, you know, your path, basically. If you've been feeling a little bit lost or you're not quite sure, like get in touch with your wolf self. Rely on your instincts, allow it to happen. And going forward will become easier for you. As it says, run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. So yeah, really kind of embrace that part of you that is the wolf. And I really like this. These cards are a little bit more on the witchy side, if you're into that. Yeah, so this is just talking about your intuition and what is within you to make yourself happy and to be focused in the right area. The wolf is calling to remind you that you know your way home. It says you may feel lost and confused about something in your life or what is safe to pick up along the way. The wolf allows your instinct to take over. Receive the guidance. So yeah, this really does tie in nicely to the kind of messages that were happening here. So hopefully you can take something from this. This has resonated with you. Let me know if you've got any questions. I will try to clarify anything that I can. I can always pull up a few more cards. If you've got a specific question, of course, I'm not charging for any readings. This is all free, of course. So feel free to leave a question in the comments. I always try to address everything. Not always try. I do address everything that comes through. And hopefully this has been a small help for you. Thank you so much for being here and listening and watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you in advance for any comments or a like, which is always appreciated, or a subscribe. That's, really nice. So I thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Okay, here we are back with reading number 3. If you picked the witch card, this reading is for you. This one I'm just going to read the little, actually no, I'm going to save that for later. So okay, so this is reading number 3, and we will tie that in at the end as usual. All right, so I have already shuffled and cleared the deck, and I'm going to just go ahead and lay them out. And it will be read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Looks like we have 2 reversals. Be interesting to see. Make sure that's in the frame. Okay, so card number 1 is going to talk about, this will represent your energy for the month. Queen of Swords, lovely. Okay, so the Queen of Swords is all about being honest, being independent, being principled, fair, and constructive, accepting criticisms, being objective and perceptive. So these are some of the keywords that come along with this card. So I feel like this is really just going to be a month of good energy. It seems like give and take between people, and there's really going to be a lot of balance for you this month, it feels like. So definitely a good way to start the month for sure. Yeah, she's fair and kind, and she takes other people's opinions into consideration. So I feel like really, yeah, I really just get a good balance with this card. So I feel like this month is going to be solid and pretty easygoing. Okay, so card number 2 is going to talk about your social life. And here we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. Okay, and so this card talks about feeling burdened by, certain situations that are not necessarily yours to be responsible for. So I don't know if maybe you feel like you're the one taking control in social situations, or you're the one who's always planning and organizing and doing all of the getting everybody together and whatever. And maybe now it's just seeming like it's too much. Like maybe you're really busy with work and you just can't, and people are still looking to you to do that. Yeah, I feel like this might be something that is going to be a theme with social activities this month. So perhaps it's really could also be dealing with a little bit of social anxiety, like maybe you feel very overstressed to go do certain things, and it's really, there's some things that are being pushed out of your comfort zone socially, like who knows. So yeah, this is an overwhelming feeling of being a little bit burdened with social activities. Maybe there's a lot going on, or maybe you don't have time. There's a few scenarios that it could be. So maybe kind of look into what that is. Obviously, these are always things that can be turned around. With the reversal, that does tend to speak to blocked energy or slow moving energy. But again, when we are aware of things, we can always change it. So that's that. Have a think on that as to what that might mean for you coming up socially this month. And then the next card is card number 3, and these are something that you should pursue or embrace this month. And this is the Page of Pentacles. Very nice. This is a nice card. I like the colors. So our lovely Page of Pentacles, immediately I think grounded. This is a card which represents loyalty, ambition, focus. So I feel like all of these things are well to be embraced by you this month, and I feel like this will kind of keep you in balance. I feel like perhaps there may be some things that might be thrown at you this month that might maybe want to throw you off, or might be something that might be difficult to deal with. I feel like maybe this card here. Yeah. So really just keep that in mind. Keep yourself grounded and focused, and the rest will kind of fall into place. That will help immensely with whatever kind of little things kind of crop up this month. Yeah, so embracing grounded energy here. Okay, so this card number 4 is talking about what to be cautious of. Queen of Cups, what to be cautious of. The Queen of Cups is a lovely card. Oops. So perhaps in terms of being cautious of something, it may speak to being overly kind and giving to people. Like, sometimes when you give give an inch and they take a mile, that type of thing. So really be careful about who you're spending your energy on, and if they're really deserving of what you're giving. So really make sure that there's a good give and take between these types of relationships in your life this month. Make sure whatever you're giving, you're also getting back, and it's also nourishing you. And that's important to be aware of. So again, in terms of being cautious of things this month, be careful of the amount of energy you're spending on other people. I feel like that's going to be important this month. So, okay, I'll just leave it there. Let's see, we're on to card number 5, and this is self-care, what you can do for self-care this month. And oh wow, we have the Lovers. This is a really shaping up to be a very, very nice reading. And here again, we have the 2 people. Again, balance comes into play for me, as in self-care. This can speak to a lot of different things. First and foremost, obviously with the name, it's going to speak to relationships, partnerships, romance, again, balance, as we were talking about. So as far as self-care goes, I really think it's saying to connect with that part of yourself, and kind of focus on you and your self-love. That's very important. Card number 6 is how you can get in touch with your higher self. And this one is also a reversal. Oh, and the High Priestess. Wow, that's weird that it's reversed. Maybe you're somebody who is highly, highly intuitive, and maybe sometimes that it needs to be something which needs to be protected. That's the first thing that that kind of came to me with this card in this with this reversal, because here is talking about also protecting yourself, keeping yourself grounded and protected again. And then with this one, not giving too much to people who don't deserve. More balance here to taking care of yourself. And I feel like this again is talking about protection, probably protecting your intuitive self here. Maybe you're just wide open and you're not practicing good perhaps cleaning rituals, or you're maybe working a little bit too hard on that aspect, because yeah, okay. This can also speak to repressed intuition. So either your intuition is kind of all over the place, like you're having a hard time honing it in, or it's being pushed off to the side. I don't feel like that's not what I feel like, even though traditionally that is a big part of this intuition reversal. The interpretation of intuition with this reversal is that it's a kind of a repressed intuition, and that may fit as well. But I do feel like it's something that's really, I feel like it's kind of wide open and not being protected. So perhaps then it's really like a lot of things are coming in to you intuitively, and you're really having a hard time like kind of discerning what's what are your emotions, what are other people's emotions, what are, I'm picking up such and such from this person and such from that person, and you don't really know then what is yours. And it's very important to get that kind of under control, like really, cut ties energetically with, people you come into contact with, people who are in your house. It's really important that you, clear their energy out, that you don't have, what they're thinking, still kind of in your aura per se. That's something really important to work on with your intuition. I feel like this is what this card is saying. So I feel like intuitively speaking, you're pretty on point with your intuition. I feel like it's coming through, but almost too much. So I don't know if that rings true, or if there's just a lot of like energy coming through, and again, you don't know what is belonging to you and what's belonging to whoever else is around, because sometimes we just get too much stuff when we're not protected. And it's very important, either through crystals or symbols or sigils or things that you use to protect your energy and keep yourself, from picking up too much on what other people are thinking or feeling. Sometimes it can be difficult because we don't always realize that it's happening until like later you're thinking, oh wait, that isn't really how I felt about X, Y, and Z. And yeah, so it's important to keep that, clarity of your intuition coming through to you, because that is what in the end will guide you to the right space and the right spot and where you're supposed to be going. And it also will help, bring that happenstance energy, being in the right place at the right time, these little synchronicities, when we're really in tune with what is ours and our thoughts and intuition, what our intuition is telling us. So this is very important. Remember to protect yourself this month, especially having it be the month of October, when the veil is very thin and more spiritual energy comes through and that type of thing. So keep you protected. Keep this in mind. And let's see now what the oracle card is, which is funny because it is the witch. And it says, grab hold, allow the dwelling fire within belly, awaken all that is. A mere glimpse, a delicate pull at the very roots, living in the alchemy of self. All right, so let's see how this is. I'm just going to have a look in the book and see what it says for the kind of deeper meaning here. Okay, so the key words here are wisdom and alchemy. And then it says, when the witch appears, believe that you are wiser than you know, and the thousands of years of wisdom from the wise ancient ones are available to you now. If you are finding your path to magic, this card is confirmation that you should continue to explore your craft. So it's kind of tying into this card for me. Like maybe if this is something new for you, if you're really like trying to, get through to the intuition, I feel like you're there, but you're not protecting yourself. And I kind of feel like this card kind of confirms that, saying that you're maybe on the path to kind of discovering your inner kind of maybe psychic energy. These cards are super witchy. So yeah, they always kind of tie into some sort of like witch practice, but which is why I like them. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like this is saying you're kind of working on your spiritual path now, and you're finding your way, and you're on the right track. But I feel like some cleansing rituals need to be done, and some protective rituals need to be done. So I kind of I like this card for this reading. I think it is really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it with you with that thought. And I'm going to say thank you so much for listening. And I hope that this has resonated with you and it was at the very least interesting to listen to. Let me know in the comments what, your thoughts are. It's always appreciated. I do read everything and respond. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you in the next tarot reading. Bye.